Hi, I am Dio Rivera. I am studying mechanical engineering at Florida State University. I want to create this video to discuss why electric vehicles will dominate in the future. People worldwide realize we need to control emissions to decrease global temperature. The transport industry accounted for 14% of the total greenhouse gas emissions in 2010. Simply put, greenhouse gas emissions are the gases trapped in the atmosphere, and CO2 is the most prevalent one. So now that we know what are greenhouse gas emissions, we need to talk about the important stuff, which is electric vehicles. In this video, I will discuss the history of electric vehicles, the pros and cons, and examine current government policies that encourage adoption of electric vehicles. The first successful electric car made its debut around 1890, thanks to William Morrison, a chemist who lived in Iowa. Electric cars existed way before we even knew, but they lost a lot of attention with the evolution of internal combustion engine by the Ford Motor Company. Henry Ford, the father of the Ford Motor Company, released the first reliable gasoline-powered car called the Model T. What is even crazier is the fact that this car was released in 1908, and by 1912 this car cost $650, almost half the price of an electric roadster, which at the time cost around $1,700. Thanks to this, automakers did not want to produce electric cars for a very long time. Fast forward to the 70s, when the Arab oil embargo occurred in 1973, many countries worldwide suffered from fuel shortages. After this, the US started looking for homegrown fuel sources. The next step for EVs was the passage of the 1990 Clean Air Act Amendment and the 1992 Energy Policy Act. Also, when the California Air Resources Board added new emission regulations, USA gained interest in electric vehicles. The first turning point for electric cars was when the famous Toyota Prius was released in Japan in 1997, and it was the first mass-produced hybrid electric vehicle. The other event that boosted the evolution of electric cars was thanks to a small Silicon Valley startup called Tesla. They released their first sport luxury electric car in 2006. What was incredible about this car is that it featured a range of 200 miles on a single charge. Now that we know some backstory of EVs, I think mentioning some pros and cons is essential. Electric vehicles have many pros. They are cheaper to fuel. If you have spent years driving and pay for gas, you understand charging electric cars is more affordable, but this might vary from state to state in the US. Another advantage of electric vehicles is that they are suitable for the environment. Car models like the Tesla Model Y and the Ford Mustang Mach-E produce zero tailpipe CO2 emissions, so electric vehicles in the long run are more friendly to the planet. Another pro about EVs is that they improve air quality. Switching from an internal combustion engine to an electric vehicle will improve the air quality in your local area over time. It will also contribute to the air quality of the world. Electric cars have another significant advantage. They need less maintenance and they have fewer parts than gasoline-powered cars. Thanks to this, electric vehicles cost less to maintain. A disadvantage of EVs is range anxiety. If you need to get out in an emergency and you haven't charged your car, you will be in trouble. Another con is the higher cost that electric vehicles have compared to the internal combustion engine vehicles. There are some cheap models, but they come with very simplistic interiors and do not have a higher mileage range as their more luxurious versions. The last con is that electric vehicles take too long to charge. If you can charge your car daily before bedtime, you will experience an electric vehicle in the most cheaply and conveniently way. Electric vehicles have reached the point where governments are supporting the electrification of them. Countries like China and the United States are creating mandatory targets for EV sales. In 2020, there were around 10 million EVs around the world. This represented 4.6% of sales around the world. Another exciting fact about EVs is that according to the International Energy Agency, more than 20 countries have announced the full phase-out of internal combustion engine car sales over the next 10 to 30 years. So this made me conclude that electric cars are here to stay, and we will probably continue to see new improvements from them year by year. Thank you guys for watching the video. And remember that on the link down below, I will be posting every link for the works cited of this video.